The Friday Sports Riot.
I'ma start a ride.
The Friday Sports Riot on SportstownChicago.com.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportstownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Hoppy.
And I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
And let's get this going. On the phone line, he is the host of The Night Game every night from 7 to 10 p.m. alongside Connor McKnight on 87.7 The Game. Mark Carman is on SportstownChicago.com. What's up, Mark?
Hi, guys. How are you?
We are doing good. How has everything been at the game since we last had you on the show?
Everything at the game's been going great. I appreciate you asking that. I'm just pulling away from the United Center right now where I was just doing some Jarrett, Harry, and Spike work this afternoon. So things are going well. Thank you for asking.
Cool. And let's start off by talking about the Bulls a little bit. Obviously, you know, they sort of had a disappointing showing in the playoffs, losing 4-1 to the Washington Wizards.
No, it was a disappointing ending, no doubt. I think the team... pretty clear to see they just ran out of gas, and I think a lot of Bulls fans learned that the Washington Wizards, they got some talent over there, particularly in the backcourt with John Wall, the number 1 overall pick, and then Bradley Beal as a 3 overall pick. I mean, those two guys look like they're going to be doing some damage for quite some time.
What is your take on how they played and they just tore up this Bulls offense? Did you expect this to happen, or did this catch you off guard?
I actually did think the Wizards were going to win the series. I didn't think it was going to be 5 games, but when they lost the first 2 at home, and I mean, really, I thought they didn't get any breaks down the stretch in either of those games, particularly in Game 2. They had some bad calls as well. Joey Crawford, I thought it was awful. That hurt them. So they got no breaks in my mind, and then. You also saw what everybody knew, that the Bulls have serious issues scoring the basketball, particularly when a team can play them every other night and really get a game plan of exactly what they're going to do. And they could not score in the fourth quarter, and that killed them.
Do you think that these Tom Thibodeau trade rumors are real, that he might be interviewing with the Lakers, or do you think it's just sort of a fallacy?
I don't expect him to leave. It would be interesting to find out what the Lakers would actually offer. Maybe the Bulls would entertain just listening to that, but I think if you allow him to speak to the Lakers, it opens up a whole can of worms there, and so it probably doesn't get that far. Maybe back channels they can find out that, hey, if they're willing to give up their lottery pick, which is number 6 overall, maybe that might be something the Bulls would consider. But the public would not, I think, be very excited about Tibbs leaving. And I don't know, Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't necessarily conduct business that way on what the public thinks. But that would be very interesting if the Bulls were that aggressive with their head coach. And who knows what Tibbs wants to do. If Tibbs wants out, which I would highly doubt that he does, but if he did, then I think the Bulls would let him talk to the Lakers, because you wouldn't want somebody working for you who doesn't want to be here. But I assume Tom Thibodeau does want to be here.
Do you think that the Bulls should try to trade Tom Thibodeau, or do you think they should keep him as a coach? Because I think he's a great coach, and there's no reason to get rid of him.
Well, listen, I think you listen to everything in life, Ryan. I mean, It depends on what they're willing to give up. I mean, what happens if let's just say hypothetically the Lakers, they don't, but let's say they had the number 1 overall pick in the draft and they wanted to give him up for Tom Thibodeau. I mean, that would be real tempting, wouldn't it? So he's certainly not, he's not Michael Jordan in his prime. He's a great coach, but I think you always listen to what people are willing to offer you.
What is your take on the future of the Bulls when it comes to Boozer as a guy on the team?
I don't think Carlos Boozer will be back.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably a 3% chance that he's here. Just the offseason would have to go so terribly wrong for Boozer to end up here, which it could go that way. I mean, I don't expect him to get Carmelo, but a lot of guys out there. I would assume that Carlos will be on another roster next year, and I think it'll help him. I think Carlos is, he's not necessarily well, he isn't the player that he once was, but he's not over the hill either. He'll help somebody. If he's coming off the bench for you playing 25 to 30 minutes, that's a good player, and if you get him for a much more reasonable rate than the Bulls are paying, I think that he makes sense for probably a lot of teams.
The Hawks and Wild play tonight, and it's going to be a really awesome Game 1 because you have Minnesota coming off that exciting Game 7 win. Who do you think is going to win this game tonight?
I like the Blackhawks. The Wild have some goaltending issues. Brizgalov will be in net, and they're coming off. They played a Game 7 on Wednesday night. You get your travel day, and then you're back on the ice. The Blackhawks have more talent. I think they've been, they've probably settled into the fact that, hey, we've gotten past the Blues, and now we're ready to make a nice push for the Cup, and we've got home ice in this series, and you certainly don't want to give that away tonight. So Jonathan Toews was back at practice today after missing yesterday, being under the weather. So all signs, I think, point to the Blackhawks getting a win.
Mark, what would have to go wrong for the Hawks to lose this against the Wild?
Well, what would have to go wrong? Corey Crawford would have to have a bad series. I'd start there.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks took a ton of bad penalties against the Blues. It didn't matter. Which was interesting. I think the Blues were 2 for 29 on the power play for the entire series. So, you would like to see them not take as many penalties, but in reality, it didn't matter. I don't think the Wild have quite the firepower as the Blues did. But the Wild, look, they beat Colorado at the most points in the conference, so they obviously are doing something right. They've got some 30-goal scorers, and they have veteran leadership, and they got a pretty good coach. So I don't think it's going to be an easy series. I think anytime you get deeper in the playoffs, you can expect to be tested in every round.
Do you think that Minnesota has a lot of momentum going into this game because of the dramatic way that they won Game 7, and the Hawks have had some time off now?
I'm not big into momentum. I feel like, in baseball, momentum is the next starting pitcher. Mm-hmm. These guys are professionals. This is what they do. I don't think you lose a game and this massive hangover comes out. I think, the Blackhawks, should feel pretty good about themselves coming in right now that after winning 4 in a row themselves. So I think it's going to come down to talent, and it looks to be like the Blackhawks have much more.
And who on the Hawks needs to be at their best for them to win this series and to move on to the Western Conference Finals?
Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Corey Crawford, Marian Hossa. I think that you get those guys going right, I think you'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
There's so much depth though on the Blackhawks. They've Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Patrick Sharp. It just keeps on going and going. There's a reason why they've won the Cup, twice in the last 4 years, right?
All right, Mark. I want to get your take on the White Sox. Right now, they are one game under 500, but not many people thought they would be at this place come May. Could they make a run during June?
I think the White Sox are a fun team to watch right now.
Yeah.
You've got Jose Abreu. Give a ton of credit to Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn for identifying a guy who looks like he's going to be a mainstay at first base for a long time, and add on to the fact that you've got Adam Eaton at the top, and looks like Chris Sale's going to come back healthy. I don't know if I think they're going to win the division or anything crazy like that, but I think the White Sox are going to hang around. I'm optimistic they can do that.
Do you think that there's any chance that the White Sox will sign Adam Dunn after the season's over, or do you think he's gone after the season?
I don't think that's going to happen, no.
Right.
I would assume that if there's a taker for Adam Dunn at the deadline, he will. I don't know if I would bet on him not making it through the season more so than him having even the slightest chance of coming back.
Okay.
Mark, before we let you go, do you have any fun plans this weekend?
Well, I'm going to watch the Blackhawks tonight, and you got 3 Game 7s in the NBA tomorrow, so there's that, and I'll probably do something away from the sports life for just a second, too, so I'm looking forward to the weekend for sure.
Well, Mark, thanks for being on the Friday Sports Riot, and we'd love to have you on again.
Good luck to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
And that was Mark Carman of 87.7 The Game. Check him out tonight at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. alongside Connor McKnight, who has also been on the show. Check it out. Hoppy Radio on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and at hoppyradio.com. Check out the Sports Riot interview page. So it's pretty cool. We've had both co-hosts of the night game on the show.
Yeah.
And thanks again to Mark. Check him out. He's at The Carm on Twitter, and he's on from 7 to 10 p.m. tonight on 87.7 The Game. All right, Ryan, we're going to come back and wrap everything up.
Yes, sir.
Next on the Friday Sports Riot. Call the show if you want to get on the air, though. 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. We will be right back on the Friday Sports Riot. Hang on.
The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.